Spring has arrived. We have one planter going. I'm spraying, working on getting the other planter going. Unfortunately, there was an unfriendly raccoon that was inside or under the hood, and when they started it up last night, he made his way out of the hood by going through the fan blade. So that's just about done, but we had to run after one more part, and then hopefully it'll be tomorrow, but we'll get the other planter going. The weather is pretty nice, sun's shining. Forecast is, it's not great, but it's time to start moving. So we're getting some corn in the ground and hopefully get some beans in the ground tomorrow. Like I said, I'm spraying, heading back to the truck to refill, and then we'll keep moving. But it's a thumbs up. First day of planting, things are going pretty smoothly, considering the raccoon. But overall, we're moving and things are going well. Got all mixed up there. You saw it's just one dry product that we're mixing, and we are spraying on corn stalks that we will plant beans right into, called a burn down. So one of the easiest things I get to spray. It's I really don't have to follow any rows. I just set my auto steer and go, and it's only one product to mix. That's really easy, and I'm just using water. So like I said, it's the easiest thing that I spray all year, so it's the most fun to spray all year. But spraying's probably one of my favorite things to do as well. I like things that make you feel productive, so I can cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. So you'll see that here. We'll get set up and start going back and forth. a nice flat field, so get my auto steer set, and I can pretty much just sit here and relax for a little bit. I've got auto booms. The booms will shut off whenever they overlap where I've already been, and also they've got sensors out there that sense the ground and will raise and lower depending on what my setting is in my monitor. It does a really good job, but sometimes when it gets hilly or some low spots or uneven, I have to manually adjust them over here on my joystick. So when it's nice and flat like this, I really don't have to do much, but kind of abnormal. Lots of times I have to be paying a little closer attention and raise and lower occasionally throughout the field. But so it's nice to be able to sit here and relax for a little bit. Take advantage of the good fields, or the really good fields. We're going 14.7, which same, like I said, you know, it's a good field, so we're able to go a little bit faster than normal, or that's a pretty normal speed for what we're doing here. We're spraying 10 gallons per acre. We've got a 1,000-gallon tank behind me, so if you do the math, that's 100 acres that we're doing per fill, per load. It doesn't take long at 120 feet wide and 14 miles per hour to get a lot of acres done, so that's why I enjoy doing this to an extent, because you can get a lot done in a short amount of time. And I'm the only one that sprays for us, so you know, it ends up being at times a lot to keep up with, following the planters, and that's why it's nice to get this burn down done before we come in and plant, because it just makes the next few days a little bit easier. And also we have to clean out in between different crops, in between spraying for corn and spraying beans. And so if I'm able to get all the bean spraying done once, it's one less time I have to clean out, which isn't that big of a deal, but it takes some time, and anytime you switch crops, you're always a little worried about contamination, so the less you have to do it, the better. My boom's off, so I'll just swing it across the fence. Just have a couple rounds left out here. Then we're going to move to one more field for the day and then call it quits. It was a heck of a first day of planting. We got one planter up and going right after lunch. I mean, it was still wet and, well, not wet. It was still damp and chilly out this morning. It was below freezing this morning, but got the one planter up and going well. He's still going now, and then the raccoon I mentioned earlier that caused problems in the other one, ended up having to go chase after one last part that made its way home this evening, so we'll get that put back on in the morning, and then we'll have hopefully get the other planter going on beans tomorrow. Been hauling manure, hauling beans, a little bit of everything today, just another day. Like I said, it was freezing this morning, below freezing, so kind of had a slower start. I knew it was going to be cold, so was planning on that, but nothing broke or anything, just stuff was a little frozen up, which was fine. Ended up being a really good day, like I said, for the first day of planting 2022. Things are looking good. It's a couple days later, almost an inch of rain later, and so we will do some clips with some pigs here. Little planting update. We planted corn for a day and a half, 2 days, and beans for almost a day, a little less than a day, and all that's going really well. Stuff's working well, but like I said, we've gotten some rain since then, and it's just kind of been non-stop drizzly days since then. So it's been cold too, or cooler. A lot of people I think have held off getting started. Just depends on who you talk to on whether it's a good idea to start when it's cooler like this or not. And we decided, just looking at the calendar and what we have to get done, that it was time to get going. So like I said, things have gone well planting wise, and we just wish it would dry out a little bit and so we could keep going. But really happy that we got started and have done what we have done. Just takes a little bit of pressure off. So now, like I said, we always are doing pig stuff, but get some clips of doing some pig stuff. So here behind me we've got pigs that we weaned. Today's Saturday. We weaned these on Thursday morning. They're about 25 days old now, and we're moving them here into the nursery. And they're around 15 pounds or so. When you wean these pigs, like I said, we're taking them from their mother, where they were just nursing from her and just drinking milk. So now they're transitioning to solid food or pelleted food and just water. So the hardest part is about the first 5 days, getting them transitioned to eating that solid food. So in that first 5 days, we try and get through the nursery 4 to 5 times a day to basically just wake them up and stir them up so that they get up and do some eating and drinking. That'll give them a much better start than if we didn't get them up multiple times a day. So the biggest thing is the first 5 days, getting them switched over to solid food. So the first thing I usually do is I come in and I freshen up their water. So it's a little cup here, and I'm just scraping the water out to get good fresh water in the cups for them, because they just aren't drinking that much in these first few days because they're still learning. And so we like to make sure they've got good, clean, fresh water at all times. So these waters are automatic, and when I'm knocking some out here, they're automatically refilling with fresh water. The water might look a little discolored. We are running some stuff in the medicator. It's just kind of has some proteins, and just is supposed to give them a good start. And we've seen really good results with it, especially with some of the fallbacks. So we're trying it throughout the whole room here for the first few days to see how it works. So there's not much feed in their feeder because I want it to be as fresh as possible. So they're not eating a whole lot when they're this young, this small. So there's just a little bit in here, and I'm checking that every time I'm in here. So right now they're eating a pellet. And that's the best transition to get them over to more of a ground feed, which this pen I have started on some of the ground feed. It has some pellet mixed into it, but it's a little more ground. But gradually get them transitioned over to an all ground feed. Just getting it freshened up for them. So here's the stuff that we are running through the water medicator that's going to all these pens' waters right now. Like I said earlier, we mix it, or have been mixing it in the past, in just our small pens, or call it the fallback pens. And so we mix it with water, this product, and some pellets, or some pellet feed. And it was great, wonderful results that we've seen from it. So like I said, we're trying it throughout. I call it molasses sometimes. It's really thick, but it's got extra proteins and just gives the pigs a good start. So that's what I have in this one. It's mixed with some water, because when you're putting it into the pans, you don't need as much of the product, so you mix it down with water. So they've got a little bit left that they didn't quite eat up from this morning, but we'll add some more of the liquid to it. Then I'll go get some feed to add to it as well. As you see, they're super curious. They'll be coming up to it here in a minute, and they really like it too. So it's great to see. As you see, the pigs are super curious. You know, they get frightened at first, but they're not afraid to come up to you. And I don't know if I want to say it gets worse, but it gets worse. They just really get to nosing you, and they just really want to check you out once you get into a pig. The older, or get into a pig. Once you get into a pen, the older you get, they really, and they truly kind of come after you. They, in a playful way, they're just so curious that they come after you. So when they're small like this, of course, it's all cute, but when they get bigger and they can push you around, it's not so cute anymore. But so they're curious, but we also call them lazy, because that's why we got to come in here multiple times a day the first few days when we move them in here, because they're just lazy. They just want to sleep a lot. So we got to get them up, wake them up, so that they can get up and get some food and water and stay healthy. Alright, I think that's going to be it. Just a little recap. Like I said, planting is going well, spraying is going well. We've just been wet. So, and the forecast continues to look wet. So, I guess I didn't mention we did some tiling the other day. We got one more field that we want to get a little, a big wet spot taken care of. So we did that yesterday in the rain, and we'll keep going on probably some tiling and some pig stuff, and hopefully we dry up. We'll get some planting footage and just keep showing you what we do on the farm.